FRL Taco Tuesdays, round 8 at Misano. We don't normally get too much. We don't normally get too much on here in terms of commentary, but tonight, instead of racing, as I've got an injury, I thought I'd jump on and have a little chat about our guys that we've got on here. So let's just post a link in there, as we're just about to go into qualifying at the moment. Let's pop that link on there for everybody to see. So I hope everybody is well. And tonight's going to be good. The championship that we've been part of at the moment has, well, it's had a lot of incidents. There's a lot of excellent driving in there. Yeah, it should go very, very well tonight. We've raced here previously in the GT4s, and we also had Taco Tuesday. GT3 Sundays in here as well. That's all taken care of. So some of the chaps in here will know their way around this track nicely. So as we move into qualifying, practice, my good teammate Timmy Blunder popped in there with a pretty decent time. I'm sure everybody else will be doing the same. We can just have a look in there. So we're just going to have a little watch at the moment. IR Graham is out on track currently. Let's see how he's getting on. It's obviously pretty important to get those tyres warmed up. There we go. Let's just share that for everybody. Share, copy. I'll be with you all in 1 second. Done. Okay. Right, so track temperatures currently we've got 16 ambient, 22 on the track, so I think everyone's probably had quite a bit of time in there. Getting some practice in, getting their tyres warmed up, looking at their setups. We've got some new people in the server tonight. We're looking at shortly. We've obviously got the stand-ins to have a look at as well. Let's roll through that quickly. So we've got currently first place is Essa. Essa Racing is on 298 points. Just behind him, 31 points behind, is IR Graham on 267. DeWill is currently in third on 184, and then Will Friedman is hot on his heels on 170. Then we've got the Blast in the Mercedes on 150. Omaros is in sixth place on 139. We the Kevin, seventh on 138. So those two are pretty close, 1 point between them. Keddy is still in there on 122, even though he hasn't raced for a few weeks. Shows how well he was doing. And then we've got Krishna, always got a good pace on 112. Kagatako's on 101. I'm currently sat in 11th. RSR Cooper on 84. Obviously, importantly, I'm 1 point ahead of RSR Timmy Blunder on 83, although that'll change tonight, unfortunately. Sean is in there on 77 points in 13th. Harrison in 14th on 74 points. And then we've got Tugberg on 68. Michael Races in the McLaren on 22. And then we've got Daruge in 17th on 22 points. So there are some close battles going on in there. In the midfield and at the top, really. Essa and IR Graham have been absolutely rapid over the last few weeks, and I'm sure on this track they'll be looking to continue doing the same thing without a doubt. Yeah, that's the stand-ins that we've got for you guys. If we just have a quick look at who we've got racing tonight, as IR Graham has pumped in a 135.5, he's currently quickest. Rashid is currently in second in the Bentley, 2 tenths behind. So Rashid is one of our reserves in tonight. He races regularly in other other race nights with us for the categories. And Timmy sticks it in third. 2.5 tenths behind. We the Kevin currently is fourth. And DeWill's popped one in there as well. I think, ladies and gents, this is going to be a very, very close race tonight. So before I just get totally stuck into what's going on the screen, Michael races. He's in tonight. Spacey's in. Omaroz, Will Friedman, Kevin, we the Kevin, Sean, Rujabala's in. Essa, IR Graham, DeWill, The Blast, Derouge, Krishna, Mike Bucci, Timmy Blunder. So Mike Blucci, Pilgrim Paddy, Freeman 82, and Spacey there. I mean, Spacey has got a perm seat now, but those four are sitting in. So if I'd have been in here as well, we might have had a full grid. But fortunately, I've been told I can't do this for a little while, as I've injured my foot probably doing this. So I thought I'd come and talk to you guys instead. So we've run through the stand-ins, had a look at who is driving with us tonight. Everything is fine on there. Good. Right, let's settle in then. I'm sure Timmy Blunder right now is panicking because there's no one there to give him a fuel and pit setup, which I normally do, but they don't. Oh, look at Spacey's. Nice time. Banged in a 134 there. That is a nice time. So anyone that hasn't joined us before on FRL in any form, FRL has been going for quite a while, for a long time actually, on the console. Just branched out to PC as well, which they've got some really good one-off events and some leagues running over there, so you can have a look on the sim grid and you can check those out. Obviously get involved, the more the merrier. All levels of racing levels are welcome here, from the aliens through to the absolute newbies. All of us are happy to help, share knowledge. I've even seen people doing sort of little track lessons, you know, people are partying up in one of the practice servers, so you can't really go wrong with that, to be fair. So Spacey's currently, I'm not sure if he's on a fast lap or not. One more just pulled in now. Let's have a look at Timmy. He will shout at me if I don't watch him. He'll probably throw off the track now in that beautifully designed Ferrari. That lovely livery on there. Don't know whose crazy idea that was, but yeah. So Timmy's coming around now, coming around to the last corner. Misano. He's going to fly down that start-finish straight. See what he does. Okay, so he's on a fast lap now, going through that first tight sector. Really, it's a little bit up on his previous lap. Into the double right-hander. So important to trail brake in there. Not be too aggressive on the power on that second right-hander, so you can get a full throttle through the left. And he's, as usual, he's got himself all bent out of shape over a sausage. I'm sure he'll thank me for saying that. So Spacey's still currently setting the time. Essa in second place. Sean's doing well there in the Bentley. We did actually on Sunday. It was a bit of a Bentley fest on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight, because we do have a few Bentleys in tonight as well. We the Kevin in the McLaren. Kevin's a consistent driver, so again, should be. I can't see it not being tight. I mean, Tier 1 is very, very competitive here at Tacos, in a good way, and everybody's skill level is fairly similar. Everybody's quick in this server, and it may be for some of the champs that are popping in for their first time, like Mike in the Ferrari down there. You know, and maybe I mean Freeman's quick in other categories with FRL, so I'm sure he'll fit in nicely. Rashid's normally quick as well. So what can I say, guys? It's going to be very tight. very tight. So Will Friedman's popped up into 4th there in the Porsche. That's a nice time from him. Pilgrim is currently sat 6th. DeWill in 7th. Really Kevin currently in 8th. So let's have a look at who's doing what on track at the moment. So number 4. So Graham looks like he's coming round to finish a fast lap. Let's see what he can do. See if he improves on that. I'm sure he will. Yeah, IR Graham moves up to 8th with that. So it's 1.2 off the pace. His pace is 134 flat. I think in the GT3 Sunday race that myself and RSR Timmy Blunder commentated on, I think the quickest time there was a 39.8. I think Locomotive did a 39.8, so that is an extremely good time. Should be happy with that. Okay, so next we've got to come across the line. Who have we got down there? We've got 62, so Freeman is going to be the next one to cross the line on a fast lap. Let's have a little look and see what he's up to. So he's slightly up at the moment. I don't think that's going to move him particularly far further up the grid. Let's have a look. So it's currently 11th, moves him up to 10th. Okay, well done, Freeman. Right, Timmy's just started his fast lap. It would be rude of me. So Harrison's down in 18th. Rujabala is in 17th at the moment. The Blast is in 16th. Timmy's binned it already again. He's not having a lot of luck at the moment. I'm sure he's swearing. Let's go and have a look. So IR Graham has just improved further to go 2nd. Only 4.5 tenths off Spacey, so 134.5. It's an excellent time. I'm sure Esser's going to be keen to try and do something about that. He's currently down on his lap, and that's an invalidated lap by the look of that. So come away from there for the moment. Sean in the Bentley. Sean is on an out lap at the moment, so we don't need to look at that too much. So what are people going to take into consideration at this circuit? I like the circuit. It's very technical. You know, you've got the fast section on the back, which lends itself to bravery, especially the sort of the sweeping right-handers there. And I do know the name, but I've forgotten it, so we'll leave it there. The beginning of the track is extremely technical, and the balance of the car it's got to be just right. You could overheat the tyres here quite easily as well, with it being quite a sort of point and squirty setup. So things like ABS traction control, they're going to come into play, maybe more so here than in other places. Certainly that's from my experience. Let's have a look then. Okay, so Sean is on his hot lap, going into that double right-hander. He's slightly up on his time at the moment. Just lifts off a little bit as we go through that left, just to keep the car from understeering off basically and invalidating that lap. And he's going to slam it down on the brakes at the 100-metre board, drop it into 2nd, maybe 1st, cut that curb, which you didn't there. You should be cutting that as much as you can, running wide on this next run down into, again, it's a double right-hander, so it's quite an open sweep in, and then we've got a tightener into more of a hairpin on the way out of there. You need to be on the power early doors out of that, because this now takes you onto the fastest part of the circuit. These big sweeping right-handers going to fly in there. As he turns in on this one, drop it down a couple of gears, be brave, swing it in, aim for that white line, and then nail those brakes. Trail brake into that. And as we come round the right-hander, we're just going to flick up a gear on the left there and just push out. Straight run, down with the brakes, down the gear, turn her in, on the apex, away we go. Across the line, looks like it's going to be just shy of a 10th down on that one. So currently then standing, so Spacey's still 1st, IR Graham 2nd, Esther's in third. Krishna's popped in. Good. Krishna's always quick. He's popped in up in fourth. Sean is still fifth. Rashid, who's standing in tonight, is doing an excellent job at the moment in sixth. Will Friedman currently in seventh with DeVille. Those two are extremely close together in the Porsche, so that'll be a good inter-team battle. Timmy's currently in ninth. He is on a lap. Let's have a look. Is he on a fast lap? He's on his out lap, I believe, or he's had an issue. I'll say he's on his out lap. So he'll get one more in. We'll stay on board for that. See how he gets on. Let's change our view. Okay. He cuts that corner nicely. He wants to be down. Probably I'd be in first gear there, but then a little squirt and he's pulled over. So he must have been validated. Okay, he's not going to be happy, trust me. Personally, I mean, I hope he doesn't get disqualified, because then he wouldn't move above me in the championship, but I can't guarantee that. So Pilgrim's in 10th, with Kevin 11th, Michael races in the other McLaren is 12th, Freeman's currently 13th, and then we've got Omaroz in 14th, De Rouge 15th, The Blast is in 16th in the Mercedes, Rujabala is 17th, Harrison 18th, and currently Mike Bucci, who is a total newbie with us tonight, he is currently in 19th. So there we go. We do have a couple of others on track, so let's finish the qualifying off. So IR Graham's coming to finish. Is he going to take away that pole position? Find out in a moment. No, but he does go quickly. He does improve by a couple of tenths. So him and Spacey, they're looking pretty close together. Esser's just got into the pit, so he hasn't improved. Krishna's finished as well. So there we go. There we go. Qualifying is done. Now everyone can get ready for the hour battle, where everyone needs to have a think about their pit strategies now, what they're going to do with those tyres. And obviously, I mean, it doesn't look like the weather's going to play a part. It looks pretty sunny at the moment, so no one needs to think about that. Tyre pressures, fuel loads. Are we going to have half-halves? Are we going to do... people are going to look at pitting early, really long? Probably not a great idea. We've got an hour race coming up, so those tyres are bound to go. Or do we try and run long, fuel long, and just sort of stop for the tyres? Try and make it a quicker pit stop. Lots of variables, but Spacey, IR Graham, Essa and Krishna are going to be vying to get out of turn 1 and turn 2 ahead of everybody else. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So we're going to go on helicam. We're going to go near the front on helicam, just so we can keep an eye on things. We'll see what happens as they happen. Don't forget as well, if anyone's watching, if you are interested in sim racing and you're thinking about what leagues to have a look at, etc., check out the website, formularacingligue.co.uk. There's loads of great info on there. We've got our Driver of the Week competition on there. We can go on and vote for them. Little sort of synopsis on why that driver's been voted. And incidentally, those drivers get voted on. They get voted through their own drivers. Okay, so those chaps who they race with, they decide who they think the driver of their day is, and if we get enough votes in there, they go forward for Driver of the Week. So it's always, again, it's a good thing. It shows some appreciation from all the other chaps that we've raced with regularly in terms of the effort that we put in. So yeah, we're always happy to have more people come and have a look. We've got races. We've got the Mixed Monday series is due to start, I believe, next week. So we've got so that's GT3s and GT4s. That's still open at the moment. Taco Tuesdays, obviously this evening, and every Tuesday we've got a Tier 1 and Tier 2. So you know, the quickest of the quicker in Tier 1, and the others that are really, really quicker in Tier 2. Wednesdays is a free evening, if you like. on console, but we do have the PC leagues running on the Wednesday, so that can keep everybody out of trouble. And then Thursdays is infamous. It's our GT4 Thursdays. We have a tier 1 and a tier 2 in that one again, such is the growth at the moment. And Fridays is reserved for the Endurance Championship. That happens every couple of weeks. 2-hour race there. Obviously you've got a couple of teammates that you can race with. Again, it's brilliant for getting everybody together and involved. And, yeah, and then Saturdays is a break from here. Saturdays is PC league racing, one-off events, and then we come around to Sundays, which is GT4, GT3 Sundays. So there is something for everybody all the time. So we have got 12 seconds left to go.
10 seconds.
And we're going to kick off on our formation lap. Now, we have tried some different ways of doing the formation laps, actually, because there are a few different ways you can set that up. You can have it guided, you can have, you know, speed limit, no speed limit, and I think we've kind of found the way that it's done at the moment really works quite well in terms of the lead car sets the pace, it's an agreed pace, and then everybody else obviously will follow, but keeping the distance, so not allowed to drive through each other. Which is really important, because it can put people off, and again it just adds that authenticity. You've got to keep your spot, keep your distance, work those tyres and brakes, and make sure that you are ready when the hammer drops to get on it. So we'll just have a look at them coming around. So we've got Essa there, Spacey gone, there he is. So they're all just coming around now on this formation lap. Everyone should have sorted out their pit strategies, maybe have more than one of those set up. So depending on the variables of the race, potential contact, weather, tyres, you know, how much fuel's burning, do we need to fuel save, all those different things come into consideration. So I personally used to like to set up 2 or 3 different fuel strats, and then obviously that makes it a little bit easier and less stressful during the race. If we need to change those, which I'm sure all these guys do. Yeah, just looking at this lineup on the grid, so we've got the Ferrari out in front, and we've got Bentleys. We've got quite a few Bentleys in there, haven't we? We've got a Lambo in there, so it is a little bit more mixed than what it was the other evening. I think with the level of drivers in here, we want it clean, obviously. I mean, Sunday's race was pretty clean. There was a couple of incidents. JR Lockalow got on the end of a couple of them, fortunately, with back markers. But yeah, we want a clean race. For the most part, it is. Obviously very competitive, but I'm sure our guys will know what to do. We've been doing this long enough now, and obviously any people that are new joining us will understand how we try and race, you know, which is hard but fair. Let's have a look then as they're coming around there. Georgie Priest has come into the chat. Hello. Let's go, boys. I'm at work with this going on in the background. Good lads. Well, yes, that's what you should be doing. Right, so as they are coming up to the final corner, Misano, last couple of attempts to get those heat in those tyres and brakes. Right, here we go then.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we're off. Off we go. On that run down to turn 1, it's already looking a little bit congested in there. It's back out there. Okay, oh, we've got, oh, so Krishna's had a little bit of a spin there by the look of it. Let's move out and see. You can see more, so there's definitely some action going on in the back. We'll check that out in a minute, but Spacey's got away clean. And it also looks like S is right behind him as well. So those two, or those three actually, have pulled away already. Timing screens have just sorted themselves out. So we'll update that as soon as they go through that first sector. But Whereas Timmy Blunder's back down in 12th. He looks like he's definitely had an issue then. He's chasing Pilgrim, he's chasing Rashid. Is that Rashid? Yeah, okay. So Rashid qualified 6th and is down in 9th, so potentially something's gone on there. So they're coming round to me. As you would expect on lap 1, everything's nice and close. So Spacey is out in front, he's pulled a second on SL already, and then Sean is currently in 3rd place in that, well, you're not going to miss that Bentley, are you, with the yellow roof and wheels. Looks very good. Looks like he's closing in on SL there. DeWill is in 4th with Michael very close behind him, and then you've got Weather, Kevin, Rashid, Pilgrim and Timmy Blunder all running extremely close. Pilgrim's currently, Timmy looks like he was going to go for a move on him then, but he's just following through onto the start and finish straight. I'll just stick with this and see if we get a move. And then behind them, the Blast and Brujabala and Freeman are also extremely close. So as I expect, the field, Timmy's cut across there. Timmy looks like he's got some good pace there on Pilgrim, but we'll see what happens. So up top, Spacey's pulled 1.6 seconds on SR currently, which is pretty impressive considering it's the 2nd lap. Sean is keeping hit on. Sean's made the move on SR. So SR's dropped to 3rd. Missed that move unfortunately. Must have just happened. But that is a good move by Sean. DeWill still in 4th with Michael just behind him, and then again we've got this big battle going on between Kevin, Rashid, Pilgrim and Timmy. We've got what I'd say probably 3 temps splitting them, and then a bit further down the road, only 2 seconds behind, we've got the Blast, Brujabala and Freeman, and again they are all nose to tail. So we will have a look at the back end of the field shortly. But there's so much going on at the moment. This mid-pack, I mean, we're talking bumper to bumper. This is excellent racing, and looks like that move's just gone on behind. Buda is up to 11th, and then we've got the Blast and Freeman. Freeman looks like he's going to make a move there on the Blast. The Blast has got all out of shape. He's gone sideways. That is unfortunate. So the Blast has gone into the wall. Freeman was spat off the track, but he's come back on safely, which is good, but that means that Krishna's managed to jump up a couple of places, and then just behind Freeman, his teammate DeRouge is also closing in rapidly. And then down the grid, unfortunately, Will Friedman, so there must have been an incident there. So Will's had an incident, as has IR Graham. Okay, so that must have been what happened on the 1st lap. IR Graham was in 16th, obviously qualified much higher up the grid than that. And then Harrison's in 17th, and Mike Bucci is currently running in 18th. But well done, mate. I know it's his first ever outing with FRL, and I know in the sort of DMs he was a little bit dubious, but I said to him, just get involved. You know, I know it's tier 1. It doesn't matter how quick you are, just get involved. It will be a great experience for you, and he can watch his own race back, and he can look at, you know, where he can be. With a bit of practice. And then running last is Omroz. He has pitted, so he must have had some damage at some point, and then he's jumped in the pits. And that's where we're going at the moment. Let's go back to that midfield. So Timmy's moved up to 8th, Weather Kevin has dropped, and then Rashid and Pilgrim have moved away from them. Okay, I don't know if there was any incidents there, or just they're managing to push it a little bit more now. DeWill is still in 4th. Michael is right on his tail. Michael is less than half a second behind him as they're coming into T2. And I do know, I mean, that Porsche and that McLaren, they both do go very well round here as they come into the double right-hander. Both very aero-dependent cars, so I'd be a bit careful through there, but they both pull out nicely and away they go. So Spacey is still out in front. He's pulled just over 3 seconds now on Sean. So Spacey's doing extremely well. He's not been in for long actually. 3 weeks maybe. I think Timmy was saying on Sunday, but in a couple of weeks. excellent driving, great pace. It's great to see. Again, Sean hasn't been with us for that long either. He's obviously showing some excellent speed at the moment, and Essa is just behind in third place, a second down. It's all running pretty nicely at the moment. So everyone's probably going to settle down a little bit now. We've had the first couple of frantic laps. The midfield battle, so Rashid, Pilgrim, the Kevin's made a move on Timmy, and those two are very tight actually. Most races those two are together. Brujabala's actually really catching on, and Krishna is quick. We know he qualified right at the sharp end, so he's going to be keen to try and make his way through the grid, depending on if or what damage he may have picked up at the start there. And the Blast is making his way back through, so he's in 12th with Will in 13th with Daruj very, very close behind him. Let's see how high on Graham, is he making any headway getting back up there? I'm sure he will. And then Ryan and Mike. So Freeman's jumped in the pits. That may have been to do with the slight incident that he had earlier on. Oh, good. Georgie Priest likes watching the races afterwards. Good. Well, that's what I do. I'm normally up till about 4 o'clock the next morning watching everything back and watching other drivers. And it is a great way to learn. Yeah. So Michael Races is currently the closest battle at the moment with DeWill, the 4th. He's only 3 tenths behind as they come down towards the extremely fast section of the track. First right-hander into the second one, getting on those anchors, letting the car sweep through there, and then getting nice and early on the brakes. Definitely trail braking through that hairpin to get the chute up towards the final bit, the final 2 left-handers. Yeah, those two are very tight. A couple of attempts between them, so that looks like that's going to run for a long time, that one. Other close battles. Pilgrim is going to make a move on Rashid. He's coming down the start-finish straight. He's ducked up the inside. Rashid defends. Rashid's had to take evasive action there, so he's cut through the track. Now he seems to have backed off as well, so but Rashid's got himself a drive through, so evidently he's racked up 3 of those in terms of track limits. So I'm sure he's going to be pretty annoyed with that. Pilgrim doesn't need to push now. Pilgrim can just take his time. Rashid's got to come in the pits, but he will be conscious that up the field Michael Races is having a good look, showing his nose in on DeWill there. He does have the inside line. Those two, there's probably half a tenth in between them at the moment. Some excellent racing. DeWill goes defensive. Michael goes wide so he can try and cut back. Does manage to cut back, but there wasn't enough there for him, so he just tucks in behind him again. So there's some excellent racing going on, as you would expect. Pilgrim is still just behind Rashid. Rashid's obviously got 3 laps to come in and do his drive through. Then he's obviously going to need to pit as well, so we're sort of 10 minutes into this race. Rashid's got a couple of things to think about at the moment. Further down the field, Krishna has made his way up to 10th. He's rapidly catching RSR Timmy Blunder. So I don't know if Timmy's had any damage or anything like that, but Krishna is making his way up very nicely at the moment. Timmy has lost a lot of time there to... Well, so Rashid's gone in to do his pit stop, so the Kevin is just 1.2 seconds ahead of Timmy, so he hasn't lost that much time. Obviously I'm going to be completely unbiased, even though he is my teammate and I can't race tonight. Come on Timmy, throw it off so you don't get any points. Yeah, that would be great. We wouldn't, would it? He'd be really angry, so... Alright, back at the front. No change. Spacey is on his 7th lap at the moment. He's 4.5 seconds now clear of Sean. I mean, he's running some good pace, isn't he? A lot of people would be a bit unsure about the Ferrari around here because of how skittish she can be. She's she's on edge quite a lot, but I mean we drive the Ferrari, Timmy and I, and we quite like her, so Spacey. Sean is still in second place. He's doing an excellent job in that Bentley. Essa isn't too far behind him there, certainly keeping each other honest, I'll say that. And well, the battle that is Wheel of Michael races is ongoing. I actually was watching Michael races the other day after the GT3 Sunday. I was watching his stream, and him and Traction Dave are a funny duo to listen to. Yeah, I mean, if you ever listen to any teammates as they're racing, it's always interesting. You know, the language can be oh, and Michael's lost it because I'm talking about him. I'm sorry, Michael. Don't shoot me. Right, so that gives DeWill some breathing space, a lot of breathing space. Michael kept it in 5th. He has kept it in 5th, but he's going to be a good 6 seconds off the pace now. Timmy Blunder has just made a move. Oh no, Timmy's not making a move. Krishna's making a move on Timmy for 7th place as they go through the double right-hander. So Krishna's putting the pressure on. Timmy's going to want to defend that. Goes to a very evenly matched. If you do have a look at the website and look at the table, there's a lot of really close battles down the league. There's not kind of one person who's just run away with it. And what we found over the last 8 rounds, including this one at the moment, is I wouldn't say it could be anybody's, but in Tier 1, if you're putting everything into it, everybody's very similarly paced, which is awesome. But Krishna gets that move done on Timmy, so Timmy drops to 8th. Will Friedman is currently just about to make a move on the Blast. The Blast has gone defensive down that straight into the quick right-handers, so Will's ducked out of that a little bit. He's only 39 thousandths behind, to give you an idea of just how close they are. And then Daruj is only sort of half a second behind him with, wow, and who's that tucked up in there? There's not Rashid in there. Well, that is really close. Who's that coming through there? Is that Essa? Ian Graham, he's now making his way up. So Ian Graham is on the back of Rashid. He's got himself back up to 14th. He's probably going to be running long now, I would suggest. Harrison's in 15th. Pilgrim's done his pit stop. He's running in 16th at the moment. And our man Mike's in 17th, hasn't pitted yet. So he's moving around the track nice. And in fact, I don't even think he's actually really raced on Misano either, from the chat I was having with him earlier on. So, you know, he's been brave. I like him. I like his style. Throw yourself in there. Learn as you go. Just don't kill anyone. And everything will be fine. So then Omros is still in 18th currently, having done his pit stop. With Freeman 82 in 19th in the Audi. I'm sure he picked up some damage earlier on, but we'll see how that shakes out. So we're a quarter of the way in at the moment. Nothing's changed at the front. You've still got Spacey is out front doing a very good job leading Sean. Yeah. So we're just lapping. Is that Rashid? Maybe. S is still in 3rd. DeWill's holding his own nicely in 4th, and Michael's obviously dropped down to 5th after that spin that he had. So he'll be kicking himself and just trying to plug away, trying to reel him in. And then we, the Kevin, there's a couple of seconds back. Krishna, look at the pace on this guy. Remember, last lap, he went past Timmy. Yeah, now Krishna's already on the back of Kevin in 6th place. So Krishna's got some serious speed around here. And he's obviously got extra motivation from what happened to him earlier on. Rujabala is doing extremely well. He's got his Bentley up into 8th place. So him and Sean, they're currently looking at some good team points on that. The Blast has made his way up to 9th. And Timmy's coming to the pits. Okay, so Timmy's pitted. And Will Friedman has also dropped it into the pits. So that's going to give other people a chance to take advantage. But, you know, these two pitting at this stage, it's a little bit early. maybe there's some damage on their vehicles. Timmy's on his way out now, so maybe he's going to fuel to the end now and do a longer stint, and hopefully look to take advantage of some fresh air potentially. Will is also now on his way out of the pits, so this is when it starts to get interesting. We've now got people being lapped, so we've got different pace throughout the field. People are obviously, different parts of their race strategy. Are they fuel saving? Are they looking after the tyres? Are they driving angry? Are they, is the setup of the car as they want it to be in terms of a race setup rather than qualifying? So there's lots of different permutations going on currently. Krishna is pushing, he's 4 tenths behind Kevin at the moment, up in 6th. And DeWill, yeah, they're still pretty. But Michael's dropped down to 7th. So maybe Michael's had another issue there, because Michael was running in 5th and now finds himself behind Kevin and Krishna. So I'd be pretty confident that Michael might have had another off there, because I don't think the pace of those two, I don't think they would have walked up to the back of him and just gone through him. So it'd be a shame if he has picked up some damage from that. Currently, so IR Graham and Rashid are together, half a second. Let's just keep a little eye on that. Keep a little eye on that for a moment. IR Ground there with the red helmet is very close to Rashid. Rashid was kind enough to jump in this evening at a very short notice. Rashid is a quick driver. IR Graham is, he's in the top 2 in this championship, so he doesn't want to be losing anything, and personally, if I was Rashid, I know we're racing, but I wouldn't. And there we go, there's the contact. A little bit of contact between Rashid and IR Graham. They both carry on though. IR Graham manages to put that in front. I was going to say, if I was Rashid in that situation, I have to say I would have just ducked out of the way, because I'm not in the championship, so why get too involved? But hey, we're still racing, aren't we? So everybody, once the visor's down, everybody wants to race. Again, no change at the front. Krishna, he's 2 tenths behind him there, and actually with those two just coming up to Mike, Mike's had an off. I don't know if there was a touch there or if Mike was trying to get out of the way, because IR Graham and Rashid were right on the back of him there. Hopefully it didn't give him too much of a fright, because that could happen. But he's doing an admirable job, Mike. You keep going, mate. I want you to finish this race and get some points. That's what we want in your first race. Sweaty, heart racing, questioning your sanity, but with points. That's what we want. So what we got pit-wise, so Pilgrim, Timmy, Friedman, Omaroz and Freeman 82 have all pitted. No one else has as yet. There is not really much change at the top there, but Krishna is less than a tenth behind Kevin now as we come on to the start and finish straight. So is Kevin going to go defensive on that, or is he going to hold his line? Let's have a look on board. So that's it, just squeeze the throttle on there, drop it into third on that right hander so the back end doesn't spin on you too quickly. I'm going to slam on those anchors, I'm going to trail brake off, pick up the throttle gently, I'll drop it into second there, maybe into third, push. Really Kevin's going a bit defensive, he's come across. Krishna wants that place though, he's going for it. He's got to get late on the brakes. So he takes that racing line, and he does. He takes Kevin. So Krishna's up to 5th, but Kevin straight away does the cutback. Kevin takes that position back, but Krishna's got the inside line. Awesome racing, guys. So Krishna ducks back up the inside. He's going to be a little bit wider there. So Kevin's now got an opportunity. And if we look in the background, who's coming to join the party. That's right, Michael Races is right back on them. So these three, because Kevin and Krishna are battling so well, Michael is using that opportunity to close right up on these guys as they sweep through there into the hairpin. Michael is joining us. This is awesome. Exactly what we want to see. Michael's didn't get a good run out of there. So Kevin, Krishna's taken that position again. Those two are having a right old ding dong, aren't they? Can't deny the pace of Krishna though. He's worked his way up the field very, very well at the moment. At the front, no change. Still Spacey, Sean and Essa. Essa's closed in on Sean a bit there. He's brought that down by a second, so I don't know if Sean's had an issue or if Essa's managing to push on a bit more. DeWill still in 4th. Krishna's on an absolute mission in 5th, and then we've got Kevin and Michael 6th and 7th. I think that next battle is going to be between Kevin and Michael's going to be quite a good one, and then Brujabala is still holding 8th with the blast, so there's a pretty big gap behind those two. And then Daruj, Krishna's teammate, in 10th. He's got some space in front of him, but not behind him, because IR Graham is only 8 tenths behind. And who was that in the Audi there? That was Freeman, I think, who's just gone for a... Yeah, Freeman's unfortunately got on the sausage curbs there and gone for a 360, so that's not going to help him considering he's already stopped. Georgie Priest is loving this racing at the moment, guys, so I urge everybody, if you haven't had a look, get onto the page, have a look at my page. We do a lot of comms over here. Like and subscribe. Yeah, spread the word. We love doing the commentary because the racing is bloody awesome. And right, so IR Graham, Darouche just got a little bit too hot into there, went wide, so he's cut completely across the grass. I don't know if he's going to get a penalty for that, but he hasn't gained any position, so IR Graham's sailed off into the sunset, as it were. So Michael races up in 7th place, is obviously half a second behind We The Kevin now. We The Kevin hasn't let go of Krishna yet in 5th, so he's still trying to hold on to that. It's a second behind. And DeWill is happily 5.5 seconds on the road. And Essa's then dropped back. So he did have that at 1.8 seconds last lap. It's gone up to nearly 5. So maybe Essa's had a little wander off the track. Let's go back. Closest battle we've got now. There are 2. Currently I'm going to have a look at Michael Races, who's under 4 tenths behind We The Kevin. Again, these two, well, We The Kevin's been in some awesome battles so far this evening, and he was probably hoping for a bit of a breather, but nope. Next battle's on the way. We have a back marker in between them. We've got some flashing going on, and that was Rashid, and he's moved out of the way. Excellent driving, Rashid. Keep out of that battle. So as they're flying around there, Pilgrim is only 2 tenths behind Timmy Blunder. Timmy's car looks a bit smashed up, so he's probably drink driving again, but I hope he isn't. That's a good little battle happening there. And then Will Friedman in 3rd team's only a couple of seconds behind them, so he's probably got to come and join the party fairly soon. I'll tell you what, it's relentless, guys, isn't it? You know, absolutely relentless, which is what we love. It's just a shame I'm not out there racing this evening. I'm jealous, as Michael still keeps that gap under 4 tenths. Pilgrim's dropped off Timmy, so that's good for him. He's pulled a bit of a gap on him. I'm going to go on board this bit actually, guys, because we want to see that develop. I'm going to shut up for a minute as well. so easy. Looks so easy. Who would have thought it? You know, little dab of the throttle, little dab of the brakes. And Michael has jumped into the pits. Okay, this is going to start playing out now. So Michael's pitting from 7th. Let's see if he does a manual. I believe he'll do a manual stop. I know he's pretty hot on all these things, so he's probably going to jump in there for a manual stop, which can save you around 4 seconds, I believe, in terms of a pit stop. Something I need to learn to do, but don't have the brake capacity after days with my beautiful little children. So yeah, so he's in the pits at the moment. I'm not going to sit on that. Pilgrim is a second behind Timmy now. Timmy has pitted, remember, so the Blast is currently coming into the pit, so let's see where's Timmy on track at the moment. So he's coming down to the fast section. He might pick up a place or two there. IR Graham's moved his way up to 8th now, courtesy of those pit stops. So he needs to take advantage of that clean air, really push some times in. At the top, Spacey's still out there. He's on his 17th lap now. He's just banging those laps in. He's doing extremely well. Sean has come into the pits. Okay, so Sean's decided he wants some new rubber. Interesting. Essa has stayed out. DeWill has also stayed out in 4th. Where's Krishna to that? So Krishna's coming around the penultimate corner. So you got to dump it in the pits? No, Krishna stays out as well. We the Kevin does come into the pits, so there's a lot of action going on now. This is going to make or break a lot of people's races. Right, Timmy Blundell. The Blast is still in the pits. Okay. So Timmy's lost a position there to Pilgrim, and those sausage curbs are not his friend today by the look of it. I wonder if Essa can take any advantage of the fact that Sean isn't sat in front of him now and really push. We shall find out. Let's have a look for some more close battles. Obviously, while the pit stops are going on, it is. Okay, so Will Friedman, Timmy is going to be the closest battle very shortly. Is that DeWill? Oh, DeWill's sandwiched. Okay. Okay, so DeWill in 3rd is sandwiched between Timmy and Friedman in 11th and 12th. So this is where it all gets interesting. And in front of them, we've got another 2 cars just sat in front of them. So I think that's Harrison. Is leading that pack at the moment, and he has. So Ryan pulls out of the way. That's a very sensible thing to do. Timmy goes through into Misano, as does DeWill, as does Friedman. It's just bonkers. 1, 2, 3, got like 5, 6 cars there, guys, all within like a couple of tenths of each other, all battling away, all wanting the same piece of track, and all not having the same piece of track. You're not allowed. Right, Sean is out of the pits in 7th. Okay, he's then got a good lead over Michael in 8th. So here we go. Our leader is in. So Spacey is coming to the pits, and Essa's followed him. No, Essa's stayed out. Krishna's coming to the pits now. Right, let's follow Spacey. Let's see where he comes out compared to Sean. He'll be comfortably out on that. So, as expected, Spacey's got to come out with a healthy lead, it would seem. I'm interested in Krishna. I really want to see what he can do in this race. So, out comes Spacey into 4th place. But obviously, Essa, DeWill, and IR Graham have not pitted yet.
Keep pushing.
As we've just been informed, we're at the halfway mark. So, there's plenty more drama to happen yet, guys. Lots can happen. You know, we often see people running out of fuel. You can do those miscalculations as well. So Krishna's on his way out. Rujabala, he's in the pits currently at the moment. So Krishna's out, Rujabala's coming out. So Michael is in 8th. We the Kevin's just behind him at the moment. and Essa and DeWill have both come into the pits. Now, those two guys, I didn't think they were that close, but they've come in absolutely nose to tail, so I am going to keep an eye on that. And IR Graham is also now coming in for his pit stop, so everybody, and Mike's coming in for his first pit stop in A-Team, so literally everybody is now in the pits and will have completed their stop. So this is where it's now going to start shaking out. The Spacey comes around Misano, the final corner onto the start finish straight, so he will retake the lead of this race, as you would expect from that handsome lead he had at the start. And Sean's also coming across the start finish line to go back into second. So Essa was third before the pit stops, and it looks like DeWill's got the jump on him. Yeah, DeWill's done a manual stop, and he's going to come out of the pits ahead of Essa, who is now leaving the pits. So where are they going to actually filter back out onto the track? This is going to be awesome. So Sean, see how this shakes out. So DeWill has come out of the pits behind Michael, I believe. Yeah. So Michael's got a good net gain out of that pit stop. Michael's up into third at the moment. So it just shows you some good in and out laps with the manual stop. You know, he's gained himself what, at least 3 places there, so that's excellent work by him. DeWill is in 4th, he's gained as well, which is excellent. We the Kevin is also gained up into 5th, as has Krishna. So Krishna is in 6th. I know he's sort of 5th, 6th before the pit stops, but to be back into that position now with those guys in front of him in sight, that is some pace. And Essa, he's probably not going to be too happy. He came into the pits when it all started to shake out, was in 2nd, that was in 3rd, sorry, and he's come out in 7th at the moment. So Pilgrim is currently in 8th, and Timmy, our man Timmy Blunder, is currently in 9th, so that's an improvement. Obviously the pit stops have affected that, but he's running solidly in 9th at the moment. IR Graham is a couple of seconds behind him. We know he's got pace from qualifying, and I know him and Timmy have had some good races, and Timmy, as you can see behind us, had a blunder. Oh dear, that is a shame. If I know our Timmy, and I do know our Timmy, he's probably going to be swearing a lot now whilst looking very red and sweaty. But hey, we choose to do this. So Graham's up to 9th. Timmy's still in 10th, is he? Yeah, he is, yeah. So Friedman and Brujabala are extremely close coming down the start-finish straight. 6 tenths in it into the first part of the lap. Brujabala looked a little bit sideways then, but he's got hold of that. Rashid is running in 13th. Omroz has been lapped by the look of that. He's running in 14th in the Bentley, and then we've got the Blast in 15th in the Merc, who just goes wide and off the track there. Freeman in 16th. I know Freeman hasn't had a great race so far. He's had a couple of offs. Certainly, I don't think all of those were his making from what I was watching earlier on. And then Harrison at the back there in 17th with Mike. Mike's 3 laps down, but he's still going. Come on, Mike. Keep it going, buddy. 25 minutes to go till you get some points in Tier 1, mate. Right, Spacey, Sean. How's Michael? Is he catching Sean? Let's have a look at that. So Sean's just gone through. And no, Sean's miles ahead at the moment. So Spacey and Sean are clearly running with it out the front. Traction Dave's in. Hello Traction Dave, how are you doing? Yes, we are watching Michael. He's having a good race, mate. He is having a good race. He did extremely well on his pit stop in lap, I assume a manual stop and an out lap, which boosted him up to 3rd. So he's having a great race at the moment. You'll be happy to know. Which I thought you might have joined us tonight, Traction, and raced. Right, say hello to him on there. Good. Actually, Traction, if I mean, obviously you are watching, but pop in the comments there. Let me know where you guys are from, because obviously it's up north, and you know, it's not Geordie. I know that it's not that strong, but it is up in that neck of the woods. So I was thinking, I don't know, Gateshead or something like that. I don't know. Let me know, because I was talking about Timmy the other day, trying to decide. So Brujabala, unfortunately, in 12, and Rashid have both just got drive-throughs. So I assume they've either been following in each other's tracks off the track for a few corners, or they might have had a touch and both ended up racing off the track. So that's a shame, but those two will be coming in for a little enforced break. Spacey, Sean, Michael, still your podium at the moment. DeWill, that's where the battle's going to come. So Michael is 2.3 seconds ahead of DeWill. I actually thought DeWill was going to have the best pit stop out of that, because he jumped Essa in the pits. Yes, Traction is from Newcastle. Awesome. Good. If you're glad of, like your new owners of your football club, no doubt. Yeah, so Krishna, his pace dropped a little bit, so he's now 2.2 behind Weather Kevin in 6th place. And I mean, we know from pre-pit stops, Krishna's pace was, you know, it was probably on par with Spacey, really. He came firing back through the field, had some good battles along the way, good clean racing, especially with Weather Kevin. So those two look like they may get together again, which, hey, round 2, probably round 6, when we bring it on. Be quite happy to see that. And then Pilgrim and Graham in 8th and 9th. Timmy is now having what looks like a bit of a lonely race in 10th, but he will keep plugging away. I'm sure he will keep plugging away. And Will's 3 seconds behind him, so everything seems to have spaced out quite a bit at the moment. Krishna seems to have pulled that gap down by about 6 tenths to Weather Kevin, so we will jump on that in a minute. Blast is currently running down in 15th, and he looks like he's going to be lapped in a moment. Freeman, Harrison, and good old Mike. It's black and red Ferrari. Mike's doing a grand job. Can't say it enough. So let's have a look at this. So Will is now only 2 seconds behind Michael, and as Traction's watching, let's focus on Michael if he's not in the party with him at the moment. Let's have a little look at that then and see how he's driving. Let's have a little look. This is for you, Traction. You can critique him after the race, although he's in 3rd, so he's doing pretty well. Nice to hear. Nice to see the driving technique there. And there we go then. So this is your battle, guys. Here we go. Krishna is now half a second behind Weather Kevin for yet another battle that he wants to have this evening. And if I'm voting driver of the day, I'm giving it to Krishna at this stage. Michael's had a fantastic race, don't get me wrong. Spacey's driven amazing out up front. Sean's driven a great race in 2nd place. There have been no dramas for these boys. They've been hitting their apexes, they've been pumping in the lap times. You cannot deny that. But in terms of raw driving ability that we're seeing at the moment, and you know, getting involved with overtaking manoeuvres, defensive manoeuvres, you know, really hunting people down. Krishna's there for me at the moment, and he's probably going to smash it in the wall and die in a minute, but hey, let's hope he doesn't. So that move's coming shortly. He's now only 3 tenths behind, and Weather Kevin must be sick and tired at the back of seeing that Lamborghini. Harrison's pulled himself a drive-through down in 17th, unfortunately, so track limits on that one. Unlucky, mate. Keep it going. Here he goes. So Krishna is right on the back of him. Stay with this one for a minute. Yes, you loyalists do love Misano. I watched it the other day. Oh dear. With Kevin gets spun round there. I don't know. From the angle I was looking at there, I'm not 100% sure if there was contact. I mean, if there was, it was a very small amount of contact. But it looks like Krishna's given that place back anyway. So there probably was some contact, and he's done the honourable thing and the right thing to do in terms of sportsmanship, at the risk of getting some northern wrath from Traction and Michael. He didn't do a Verstappen there. He did the right thing. That's a whole other debate, obviously. So coming into T1, right on the back of him, takes so much more curb there than We the Kevin. Obviously, they're two totally different beasts to drive. Krishna does love his Lambo. He's going for a move. He sticks his nose up there. They're going to touch. Let's hope not. They don't touch. Kevin defends that extremely well. Again, runs wide, jumps straight across to the left to defend the inside line, running up there. Who's going to be on the brakes? So, who's going to position their car in the best way? So, obviously, Kevin's gone late. Knew he's going to push wide there. Krishna's gone out to do a switch on him. He's trying that. Doesn't quite get it done this time. But it's just all about pulling your opponent in different directions, trying to get them off that line, getting them to break traction. Not literally you. No, I won't start that debate. There is no debate. Away they go. Right, I could stay on this battle all race. There goes a move. How hard's he defending that? Hard enough. Kevin keeps the inside line there. Krishna's got to go the long way, and he does go the long way round. Spots that apex. He's going to power out of there. So, over to you, We the Kevin. What do you have in response? What do you have in response? Just to keep an eye on everything else that's going on. Spacey's still running out in front. Sean is 17.2 seconds behind him. Michael is a further 18 seconds off that, so he's nice and solid at the moment. But DeWill, there's a battle that could emerge. DeWill is only 1.3 behind Michael at the moment, so he's pulled that gap down. DeWill probably want that spot really, because I think he thought he'd done enough of that on the pit stop, but he did get usurped. So, right, Krishna's pulled 8 tenths on We the Kevin now. Unless he has a serious issue in the next half a lap, that lead is going to grow. So let's look elsewhere down the grid. IR Graham, very nice, my wife's just showing me her boobies. IR Graham is currently in 9th place, just under 2 tenths behind Pilgrim, so it looks like he's made the move on him actually. Yeah, Timmy's 6 seconds off that. So let's keep an eye on these two for a moment. Very, very close again. See if they can keep those driving standards, keep the racing hard, keep it fair, give each other just enough room as we go flying through the fast section. Oh, that is a little blimey heck. So Pilgrim definitely got the nose out there. I thought he was going to go for a full send, but he didn't, thankfully. And IR Graham, he didn't even flinch. But anyway, Tier 1 boys, they don't generally flinch. They're used to people throwing stuff out. So they come onto the start-finish straight there. And IR Graham's pulled a bit of time on Pilgrim there, so he's given himself a little bit more breathing space. Again, different cars, they're going to be strong on different parts of the track compared to others. It's just about how they exploit that. Michael has lost the position. I missed that because I was watching IR Graham. So DeWill must be travelling pretty quickly at the moment to close that down. He was 1.3 behind less than a lap ago. He's now nearly a second ahead of Michael. So maybe Michael's had an issue there. Maybe he's had a little off or got out of shape, which is very easily done around Misano. So he's going to want to really fight to get that back, because with under 15 minutes left of this race, Michael was, I thought Michael was on for a podium there. So he's got a battle on his hands. And DeWill,
seasoned campaigner here in multiple classes. He's not going to want to let that one go, so I'm going to keep an eye on that one closely. But the battles down the grid, whilst we keep our eye on that one, that are close, not much really. Will Friedman is closing in on Timmy Blunder in 10th place. I will have a look at that. There's only 6 tenths between them at the moment. So the Ferrari, the very untamable. She's not untamable, but yeah, she's a handful. She's no doubt giving Timmy some issues, and Will Friedman in the equally as Larry Porsche is putting some pressure on him at the moment, so we'll have a little keep an eye on that. Michael is still a second behind De Will, so I've got my eyes on that one in case that changes. In the meantime, we'll see if De Will can close Timmy down for 10th. Obviously everybody scores points in tacos, because that's the way we do it here at FRL. You know, if we're going to be putting that time and effort in and we want to race properly, everyone deserves some form of reward, which I like. So Mike Bucci down there in 18th, as we said before, this is his first ever race with us. I think he joined the league yesterday from across in America, I do believe, and I don't think he's even raced at Misano before. So he's doing a great job standing in. I asked him if he would do, and he has done, so let's hope he carries on. So Timmy has pulled almost a second. Michael has pulled 2 tenths back. Michael's off the track there, so I think he would, by the look of it, he was trying to do an overtake on Harrison, trying to lap Harrison, and ended up off the track. So let's keep those tyres clean, big guy. Flashing away, he wants Freeman 82 to jump out of the way. Blue flags, there's a lot at stake here, and Freeman does jump out of the way, probably to his detriment though, because now our Harrison is right up his chuff. But anyway, that's what happens. You've got to respect those rules. So he's now 1.1 again behind De Will. He's got to chase him down. Quick look up front, Spacey. There we go. Beautiful, easy. Watch. And there we go. Easy peasy for him. Sean is doing an excellent job in the Bentley. I've been impressed with him since he's joined in with Taco, so he's doing a good job. Michael's now 1.5 behind De Will, so either De Will's found his pace and he's really got into his rhythm, or maybe Michael's tyres are starting to go on him. It is an hour race after all, and some people did pit earlier than others. Esser's got himself back up to 5th, and he looks like he's got some good pace again. And Krishna is in 6th, so Esser has taken Krishna at some point there, which again shows he's running some good pace. Kevin and Graham, they look like they're going to become pretty good friends shortly. Graham's chasing him down. Will Friedman, here we go guys, we're going to have a look at this. Let's hope for no contact. Absolutely together as they go through the... Oh, bloody hell, look at this. Absolutely nose to tail through the quickest part of the track, just throwing it down there on the brakes. Nicely turned in, boys. Some good driving again. I'm glad I coached Timmy Blunder, you know, make him the driver he is today. Some good time and effort in for that. He'll probably disagree, but okay, so it certainly seems that in the last sector then, in that last part of the track, that Timmy's quicker because he pulled 3 tenths on him there. Be interesting to see if De Will in that Porsche is quicker through the more twistier section of the track. So Michael's 1.8 seconds off De Will currently, so I think there's a tyre issue there. Maybe a tiredness issue, you never know. It is a Timmy loves that sausage, doesn't he? Every bloody lap I look at him, he's chomping on that sausage, poor guy. He's got to put himself under a lot of pressure doing that. I'm just going to stick with him because he's my teammate. And oh, that was close, boys. Again, Perfectly judged though, as you would expect from Tier 1 racers. DeWill's got a run down there. Is he going to go late? He is. He's going to go around the outside. No, surely not. Right. Everything else is fairly even at the moment. Michael Races is nearly 2 seconds down. SR, I'm going to keep that. He's nearly 3 seconds down behind Michael. So, with that said, let's just have a little look at the sound of the Porsche. Timmy gets a little bit out of shape coming out of there then. Anybody watching the stream at the moment, anybody that watches the stream back, it's good to watch these sections because you can see the lines, really see the lines that the guys are taking, but also in the bottom right hand corner you can see their inputs as well. So you can see, are they being gentle with their throttle, are they stabbing at the throttle, you know, how much are they trail braking. If you don't understand trail braking, we could cover that another day. There's a million things out there, but it's basically you're braking as you're turning into the corner, which helps obviously keep the weight of the car on the front, allowing you to get a better drive out and the later braking in. So who are they coming up to lap there? Is that Omros? It may be Omros. So that could put a fly in the ointment within there, because these two are obviously at it hammer and tongs. We've got 7 minutes left, so you know, we're 53 minutes into this, well, hectic race. That's, oh no, it's Pilgrim. Excuse me, that's Pilgrim in front, so they've caught him up. So that is for position. And there's contact. Oh my word. Oh my word. Okay, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Oh dear. How did we see that, folks? It looked, well, from my point of view there, I don't know whether Pilgrim was on the brakes too long or whether Timmy broke too late. Let me know in the comments what you think. But they certainly had a love tap, and there'll be a lot of annoyed people going, well, a lot of annoyed comments between those two camps, no doubt. So, Esser's up into 5th. He is closing down Michael. He is closing him down, so he's now only 1.7 seconds behind him. This isn't what Michael wants at the moment. You know, he's fought really, really hard in this race. He's been smart with his pit stop. I do genuinely think it's a tyre issue. I don't think he's just fallen off the pace. We're nearly 54 minutes in, you know, so braking points, turning points, you know, all those things will have been without a doubt refined during the course of this race. So I think he's got a tyre issue, and the Bentley, I do believe, is kinder on its tyres than the McLaren, and Esser did pit quite late as well. He was one of the last ones to pit, I believe, so that could be a smart strategy move from him. Krishna's then a further 4 and a bit seconds behind. We the Kevin, IR Graham's fought his way up to 8th, which is excellent, and then we've got Will in 9th, Pilgrim in 10th, Timmy is not going to be happy in 13th, and then we've got Omros, who, if you remember, was actually at the back of the grid, so he's obviously been plugging away, setting some consistent laps, and he's got himself currently up to 12th. Rashid 13th, Brujabala in 14th, The Blast in 15th, Freeman 16th, Harrison 17th, and Mike Bushi is currently in 18th and in the pits, so maybe he hasn't stopped. We'll check on that in a minute, but Esser is now well under a second behind Michael. That's where the battle is on track at the moment. So Esser's got 4 minutes 30, and then whatever remains of that lap to try and get past Michael. Now, would he be able to go on from there? I'm not saying he is going to pass Michael, you know, catching is one thing, passing is another. But he's been reeling them in over the last 2.5 laps. So in terms of pure pace, you would assume that move is going to happen. But maybe Michael is thinking, well, okay, the tyres might not be in the best shape, but I'm going to defend at the points where I need to and place the car correctly, get my acceleration zones right, and just make it really difficult for him. I think that's probably what I'd be doing at the moment. But then we need to keep an eye on Krishna. He's 4.5 seconds behind them, so we'll see if he comes into play. These two start squabbling and holding each other up, which more than likely will happen unless Essa could get a really clean pass. Let's see what happens there. Georgie Priest he's got his fingers crossed for Michael as well in this battle, so he's getting a little fan club, which is good. It's nice to see everyone supporting each other, but my money's not on Michael in this one. I'm sorry to disappoint the viewers there, but mine is on Essa. Purely because I've raced with Essa for longer and I know how he drives. I've watched Michael in the GT3 Sundays. I have been impressed with him, as I have been with Traction and Georgie Priest. If you guys watch any of those streams, you'll see I have been saying some good things about you guys, but in this instance I don't know how good a defensive driver Michael is. I'm sure we're going to find out. That's where the battle is, guys, at the moment. It's a tight one. Everything else seems pretty spaced out. I think Mike Bucci may have finished his race. I hope he hasn't. I want him to come back out so we can get some of those points. Freeman and Pilgrim are also in the pits for. Let's see if they've it off. And just as I say that, someone, probably Traction Dave's obviously sent Michael a text, because he can multitask, and said Cooper says his money's on Essa, and with that he pulls out a bigger gap. Wow, the power of communication. So well done. Let's see if he stays like that. Right, up top, Spacey's doing his job again. I do apologise, I haven't spent too much time viewing him, but I don't need to. He's way out in front, as is Sean. Now, see, here's the interesting thing. So, Essa's pushing Michael now, yeah, and they're now beginning to close down on DeWill again, but we've only got a minute and a half left, plus one potentially. So, I don't think they've got to catch DeWill. There's an opportunity here. Again, it's a great example of clean driving as they both go in. Michael's going to keep that tight for the second corner, but there you go. Essa's got the line to go wide. Now, yeah, Michael's going to cut back. Is he going to try and go and cut back up into the double right hand out, or is he going to stay wide and try and get a cut back on him? He needs to set himself up for that long straight. That's what he needs to do. But the grunt and the weight on that Bentley, yeah, just allows him to smoothly pull out there. So Essa moves up to 4th place, an excellent move. That was done over quite a few corners. Michael's probably going to feel a bit annoyed about that, but hey dude, that was excellent driving. It gets a little bit sideways out of there.
On the final lap now. Give it to
Unfortunately for Michael, and that means Krishna, he's going to feel he can have a pop in the last lap. So I know he's 2 seconds behind, we know he's pretty rapid. Spacey has started his final lap of the race. So, I mean, so far it's been a great race. I'm sure everybody will agree. Essa's pulled a second out now on Michael, so that's not going to change. Timmy, how's he getting on? I think he just wants to finish, which is good. Hope he does finish. Pilgrim, Freeman and Mike are still in the pits. Come on boys, get out. We're going to go and have a look at Spacey now, as he is getting ready to finish his race. He's driven an awesome race. He's almost 25 seconds ahead of Sean, which, you you know, anyone who's driven on Misano, it's a very demanding track. To pull that kind of gap, that's impressive. That's very impressive. He comes through the fast section there, down to the last couple of corners. Any other changes? So Rashid, just whilst we finish this off, Rashid's half a second behind Omaroz, and Graham's half a second behind with Kevin. And there we go, they're coming into the last corner. Spacey with a faultless drive there, crosses the line. We'll see him there, crosses the line to take P1. And that was an excellent drive, Spacey. You could be very proud of yourself there. I'm sure him and his team will be happy with that. As we now have a look at Sean. Again, another fabulous drive. Hasn't put a foot wrong. As he comes through the last corner, he's going to come across and he's going to be on the second step of that podium. Later on, finishes second place. DeWill, you know what? DeWill's earned that third place. You know, he drove smartly, I feel, at the beginning. I think he fueled long on that and did a manual pit stop, which jumped him above SR, which was the key part of the race at that stage. As he comes around the final corner and he takes third place ahead of SR. He comes across into fourth. Michael, he gets himself a fifth, just ahead of Krishna. Wow, under 3/10 there at the end. So I think Michael's going to be pretty pleased with himself. I know he might be disappointed to lose that podium, but I think he'll still be pretty pleased with himself, because that was, you know, that was a good drive at the end of the day. That was some excellent driving. So there we go, guys. We've got a couple of people still in there. Esat 4th, Michael 5th, Krishna 6th, Kevin 7th, Graham finished in 8th. That's a good comeback from him in the end. Will Friedman 9th, Timmy Blunder managed it into the top 10. Well done, buddy. Omaroz up to 11th, good drive from him. Rashid standing in, that was a nice drive from him in 12th. Bru Jabala in 13th, Blast 14th, Harrison 15th, and then Pilgrim, Freeman, Mike and Daruj brought up the rest of the grid. So, I mean, what a race that was, guys. Round 8, Taco Tuesdays, Tier 1. It's exciting stuff. And obviously, if I'd have been driving, there would have been someone else in first place. But yes, that was an excellent race, guys. Have a look at FRL, have a look at the website again, guys, formulaRacingLeague.co.uk. Check out the different types of racing we've got going on, the different days. As always, it's been a pleasure. I don't think I'll take up a permanent Tuesday, because I do like to drive, but we'll be back on Thursday for the GT4s, GT4 Championship. Next Tuesday, we will be heading
Green light, go,
to Spa for next Tuesday. Who doesn't love Spa? I do. So yeah, we'll see you guys next Tuesday at Spa. If you like what's been going on the channel tonight, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, try and put some more stuff out, lap guides and all those other bits as well. So yeah, have a good evening, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your night. RSR Cooper out.